Hi, my name's Alex Kerr. I'm a qualified mortgage broker, and on this channel we provide the best tools and tips for first-time buyers. If we're meeting for the first time, please consider subscribing. Let's jump into the live. So thank you for those that have joined so far, and welcome to the channel's first live. So the format of today's live will be as following. I see that there's some people already waiting. So hello to Luke, Sophie VB and Lady Popkins. Welcome to you three. Thanks very much for joining. So we're going to look at this for around half an hour, answer any questions, or I will answer any questions that you have. I've also got my top 10 tips at hand if we need to refer to them. So let's jump into the live. And before we do that, I just need to say that your home may be repossessed if you do not keep up repayments on your mortgage. Hi, Lady Popkins, welcome. Let's pop this chat out. There we go, get it in front of me, and then we can start looking through these questions. So, Luke, thank you for your question. When do you expect 5% mortgages will be available again? So I thought that may be a question. Also, Sophie VB, do you know when the 5% deposit comes into force? So that is, one of the most difficult questions to answer, I would say. Obviously, we had them before COVID. Okay, then obviously COVID came along and the high loan to value products got hit the hardest because they're obviously the most risk to the lender. And, the lenders are a bit cautious. What if properties get downvalued? That equity, small amount of equity suddenly goes. We've obviously heard the government discussing that they want to bring back the 95% mortgage as well. So I'm not quite sure what's going to happen there or what that's going to look like. Is it going to be a separate fund in regards to that, which is different to the bank? I don't know. But what I do think is 2021, I do believe fully that the 95% mortgages will return. When? It's hard to tell. With everything going on in the world at the moment, it's unpredictable. It's very difficult to know. So we've got a vaccine. That could be a positive step forwards. Will we come out of lockdown in December? Is it going to be extended even more? All these sort of factors will determine when the 95% mortgage comes out, because that is the highest risk to the lender. So they're not going to bring it out while there's still uncertainty sort of floating around. I tend to relate to when stadiums, football stadiums, things like that will start filling up again. I think that's going to give a good indication of when the economy is starting to settle down. So I would say just see what's going on in the economy and then try and make a judgment. It's almost impossible to predict. So the best I can give you there, guys, is 2021 at some point. Hopefully, within the first quarter, but, it could be towards the end, after the first 6 months, towards the sort of second or third quarter, something like that. Okay. SickH1313, are we only discussing first-time buyers today? Yes, that is correct. We specialise in first-time buyers. This is a first-time buyer channel. Dave O's. Hi, Dave. How long are you finding it's taking to complete once a memorandum of sale has been issued? Right, okay. So there was a statistic that was issued a couple of days ago, and that was the average transaction from start to finish was around 127 days. Okay, so that's quite a long time. That's just over 4 months. That has increased. So I would say allow 4 months for once a memorandum of sale has been produced and you've instructed your solicitors. Okay, 4 months, I would say that's quite good. Obviously, if you're buying now, you've got Christmas in the way, so that might slow things down even more. Anywhere between 3 to 5 months, I would say, somewhere around there, which is a bit slower than normal. But obviously lenders, surveyors, solicitors, they're all a bit short-staffed. Yeah, 4 months, and like I said, 127 days is the statistic that was the national average. John Vera, Jahan, or thanks for this live Q&A. No problem at all. Thank you very much for joining. So, do you think the stamp duty holiday affects the price of properties right now? Are they more expensive because of that? Great question. I hope I pronounced your name right. So yes, I would say we are in a manufactured market right now. Prices are inflated because of that. Do you think the stamp duty holiday will affect the price of properties? Well, yes, I believe that the saving that the buyer is getting will be added on to the house price a little bit. So that obviously inflates house prices. I do think we are entering a period now, it's a little bit more uncertain. We've definitely seen the peak, and I do think, that could possibly, we're levelling out now, that could decrease, I do believe. And obviously we've got the stamp duty holiday, which ends at the end of March. We've got furlough, which has been extended. So all these sort of things are manufactured. It does affect the house prices. What happens when this all stops? That's my worry. I think surveyors who value properties, they may not know which way to go with it. So yeah, really interesting question. But to answer it directly, yes, the stamp duty holiday will inflate the prices of properties, or has done already. Dave O's, thanks. No problem, Dave. Oliver Lester, hi, love your channel. Thank you very much, Oliver. Really appreciate the support. Very kind of you. Christopher Kyle, me and my missus are looking to get our first home in the next 6 months. I have poor credit and she has perfect credit, and we have high income. How will the mortgage lenders look at us, and will it be hard? Thanks. Good question, Christopher. Over the last sort of few months during this period, I have done a number of adverse credit mortgages, so I can answer that firsthand. Obviously, the fact that you're on a high income is a good start, definitely a good start. It does depend on the level of adverse credit. So if we're talking, a few defaults, few CCJs, maybe satisfied, we should be okay. If you've got 15% deposit, that's where you're going to be as a minimum. Lenders are asking more questions in regards to how the adverse credit came about, and what are you going to do moving forward. So it's going to be more difficult, I would say, and obviously can only properly assess that once I look at a credit file. But if you've got 15% as a minimum and a high income, it's definitely a good starting point. Hi to Moxspy One Love. Hello. Okay, I have the same question. Jahan Vera, or John Vera. I'll call you John Vera. I have the same question in regards to interest rates. Are they higher right now because of the stamp duty holiday? Okay, so interest rates have been fluctuating quite a lot during this period, and that's because they're purchasing the finance from the money markets, and they're running out quickly. So when you see new products come in, or should I say, I've never seen products coming and going as quickly as I have done in the last 6 months. Are they higher right now? I don't think they're higher. No, I don't think they're higher. Rates are historically low. They've never been this low. The Bank of England base rate is, never been this low. I mean, what is going to come is potentially, inflation is going to have to increase at some point, because that's been not moving for so long. So no, I don't think that interest rates are higher because of the stamp duty holiday. I can understand why you're saying that, because one minute, this lender has a great rate out, the next minute it's increased. That's just because the rates are changing quite a lot. The money is running out a lot quicker. I would say the higher loan to value rates are a little bit higher than maybe they were because of the COVID and stamp duty, that sort of thing. Ian, do you think mortgage deposit requirements will get more stringent? What about 95% loan to value mortgage of the government? Mortgage deposit requirements. Okay, so mortgage deposit, where you get your deposit from, yes, that has become tighter. If you have a deposit from savings or from a family member or from a gift, or you need to account for every single penny. So the lenders will want to see bank statements from when the bank was at zero to the point of your deposit. And if you're borrowing money from family members, they'll want to see their bank statements. Now, in regards to the 95% mortgages, which we did address a little while ago, but I'll say it again. I think 95% mortgages will come out next year at some point. When? It's very hard. We have limited information from the government at the moment, so we don't really know what's going on with the 95% mortgages from the government and what that will look like. But as soon as I know, you'll know. I can assure you that will go straight onto the YouTube channel. Oliver Lester, do you think it would be best to buy, when possible, with a 5% deposit, or keep savings up to 10% and still renting? We are saving around £1,000 a month, so looking at adding another 12 months. Do you think it would be best to buy, when possible, with a 5% deposit, or keep saving and still renting? We are saving around £1,000 a month. I would say keep saving at the moment, because to get to a 10% deposit, if that's possible for you, it's going to open more doors. Even though 10% deposit mortgages are at the moment are limited, I would say that area is probably going to get better first. And I wouldn't be surprised if, the start of the year, 90% mortgages, are more common between lenders. So at the moment, I would personally keep saving. Another 6-12 months, and I think you'll be fine. It's much better to, have a much better chance of success rather than to try and scrape it through and put yourself through all that time and stress and then end up with disappointment. Okay. P Channel Full. Are shared ownership properties still available with a 5% deposit? Thank you. Thank you for the question. Yes, they are. Not a problem to get a 95% mortgage on a shared ownership property. That can be a house or an apartment. Those mortgages are fine because they're obviously less risk to the lender because the housing association owns the remainder. Jerry Cruz. Hi, Alex. Hi, Jerry. How is the shared ownership household income calculated? Is it my gross income included in my P60, my annual salary minus untaxed income? That is a good question, and shared ownership affordability is very different. It's worked out differently because you've got to factor in the rent for the housing association, you've got to factor in the ground rent as well that you need to pay, and there are a couple of other costs as well. So it is different. There's no simple calculation. What I normally say is the remainder share. So if your property that you're buying, for argument's sake, is 100,000, let's say you're buying 30%, that means if you times 70,000 by 3%, divide it by 12, that should give you your monthly costs, approximately what will contribute towards the rent for the housing association and the ground rent and the service charges. But in regards to how much you can borrow from the mortgage lender, I have done a video. If you have a hunt through the channel, it is called Shared Ownership Affordability. And I did make a spreadsheet where you can download the spreadsheet, type all your details in, and it will tell you at the bottom if it's affordable or not. So I would suggest having a look at that and trying to work out what you can borrow. Okay. Additionally, is there any tolerance or is it a hard cap? 90k tops. I think that's in regards to your income. Yes, there's that is it, a hard cap. There's no tolerance there. Thank you for that, Jerry. Emma Hamilton, hi Alex, really appreciate your videos and the work you do. I've seen some new builds advertised with discounts for NHS workers. How do these work? Is this a mortgage through a specific company? Thanks for the question, Emma, and thank you very much for your support. Really appreciate it. So you've seen some new builds advertised with discounts for NHS workers. Okay, so this is a new scheme which is coming out, and you should definitely keep an eye on that. We will have the information probably within the next few weeks, and that is in the list to do a video on, so watch out for that video. And we also will be going a little bit deeper into key workers as well, because that is an area that we like, and we have got a website in the background being set up for key workers. So we are thinking of you guys, and those details will be released very soon. Okay, Dominic Barnes, I'm a first-time buyer. I have around half of what I think I need for a deposit. Previous bad credit, but looking better now. Should I wait until I have my full deposit saved before I get an agreement in principle? I believe that says. So you have around half the deposit, previous bad credit, but looking better now. Keep saving, Dominic. Keep saving. The more deposit you can get behind you, the better the options will be, the more doors it will open, the more lenders you'll have available to you. Now, in regards to bad credit, obviously, without seeing your credit file, it's hard to comment, but just make sure that there's no missed payments. You know, generally, you don't want any missed payments to unsecured credit within the last year as a minimum. If you have got some form of adverse credit, you're going to need at least 15% as of, you know, mortgage lenders' criteria at the moment. Previous bad credit, but looking better now. Just try and improve your credit, monitor your credit. Checkmyfile is a great way of monitoring your credit, because they have all the credit agencies on there, so maybe have a look at that. Or there's some free providers you can use, as long as you're able to access your credit file via Experian, Equifax and Transunion. They are the three lenders, the three agencies the lenders will look at. So keep saving, monitor your credit, trying to keep improving it, and that will put you in good stead. The Rock Starlet, hi Alex, love the channel, thank you very much. Me and my husband want to buy next year via shared ownership. We have 20k saved so far. He has fair credit and self-employed. I have excellent credit. Any advice? Roxy. I wasn't taking that in as I was reading it. I think I was caught up in your kind words there, so let me just read that again. Hi Alex, love. Me and my husband want to buy next year shared ownership. We have 20k saved so far. He has fair credit and self-employed. I have excellent credit. Any advice? Looking good, you know. Fair credit, excellent credit, put them together, that should give you sort of good credit overall. Shared ownership, yeah, you know, I always say if you've got an opportunity to buy, even if it's shared ownership, help to buy, it's a great stepping stone onto the ladder. You know, some people that have properties outright now only got there through shared ownership, help to buy, that sort of thing. 20k is a brilliant deposit for shared ownership, because you only need 5% deposit of the share that you're buying. Self-employed, so obviously make sure you've got at least 1 year's trading. Okay, if you are a sole trader, then that's going to go off net profit. Separate your business bank statements from your personal bank statements. If you're a limited company, then you're looking at sort of dividends plus salary, or profits plus salary to work out your income. And obviously, if you're a limited company, make sure you've got a proper accountant, chartered accountant, qualified accountant doing your accounts for at least a year, and you will be good. Share to buy website has a lot of shared ownership properties, and obviously the normal property portals such as Rightmove, Zoopla, on the market, they will as well. So yeah, keep going, guys. Check out the housing association, make sure they are all good. Make sure you can staircase, which means you can purchase up to 100% at a later date. The mortgage lender will stipulate that is a requirement. And lastly, if you go on our website, mortgagechain.co.uk, on the shared ownership section, there is a downloadable PDF form which says shared ownership must do's. Download it and just work through that and tick every item off, and that will see you good. All right. Lee Nesbitt, Alex, how does a broker get paid? Or off the lender, or is there a fee? Okay, hi Lee, thanks for the question. So brokers will set them up in various different ways. Okay, you will have, first of all, yes, the mortgage lenders will pay a procuration fee, which is a percentage of the mortgage loan amount to the broker upon completion of the mortgage. Some mortgage brokers charge fees and some don't. Okay, it all depends at the end of the day on the level of service that you're going to provide. Here, we do charge a fee on receipt of a mortgage offer. Okay, so that's only when the mortgage offer is delivered do we make our money from as a broker fee. The mortgage offer is the legal document which states you've got the mortgage. And if for whatever reason we didn't deliver you a mortgage offer, then we wouldn't charge that broker fee. All right. Thanks for the question, Lee. Thanks, Oliver. No problem at all. Courtney Hudson. Hi, Alex. How long is the whole housing buying process taking for first-time buyers at the moment? Okay, first-time buyers, probably, I would say, a little bit longer than the average, because the loan to values tend to be a little bit higher, the deposits a little bit less, so it's likely the lenders are going to, ask a few more questions. It is around 4 or 5 months at the moment. That is where we are with the process. There is going to be 1 or 2 transactions, that go through very quickly, maybe in a couple of months. But on the whole, we're looking at 4 or 5 months, I would say. Courtney, thank you for the question. Mock Spy One Love. Been received the mortgage offer 4 weeks ago, but my solicitor is slow. He asked me yesterday to do an identity check. Yes, it's a common complaint in regards to solicitors. I imagine they are maybe a little bit overwhelmed at the moment, and you have got to do a bit of research into which solicitor you choose. I personally look at the reviews, the Google reviews, that sort of thing. 1 or 2 bad reviews wouldn't put me off. It's a pattern that I would be looking at. Just keep positive. Ask your solicitor a question. If they've got the mortgage offer, then they should be reporting to you soon. Okay, an identity check. That's no issue. That has to happen at some time. I would be asking, when you're looking to exchange, are your searches back? All the searches, have they come back yet? And are draft contracts in? Make sure you ask those questions. Okay, Janatal Marwa. As far I heard, some of the lenders are doing 10% deposits, but with higher interest rates. My question is, what is the average rate? Okay, so I can't really give out interest rates without giving a annual percentage rate at the same time, which at the moment I'm unaware of. That is the rule that governs our industry. If we give out certain information, we do have to provide certain warnings in certain areas. It's why I never publish rates. However, we can talk about 90% mortgages, 90% loan to values, 10% deposits. Yes, they are a bit limited at the moment. There's not too many lenders out there. You've got Nationwide. I would say check Nationwide's rates at the moment. They've got a 2 and a 5 year fixed rate out there, and their rates are pretty average, across the board. I would say that's a representation of the average rate at the moment. You've got Virgin, they've got a sort of 7-year and a 10-year fixed at 90% loan to value. Accord Mortgages, they will be coming back tomorrow. I think they're a broker only lender. They're going to be hitting the market tomorrow with some more 90% deals. So check out Nationwide's, and that will put you in good stead. Okay, thanks for answering my question, John Vera. Next one is about the lease time. I still don't understand whether 100, 150, 180 years is actually good or not, considering that there are properties with 900 plus years on the lease. Yes, 999 and 250 years are more common these days. Didn't really see those, going back some time. I always say, if it's got less than 80 years, that to me is alarm bells are sounding. I don't think I'd be, going at 80 years or less as a first-time buyer. If you're a property investor or something like that, you're going to have more experience of that sort of thing. But above 80 years we're good. Especially 90 plus, 120, the ones you've mentioned, we're really good with that. The reason that if it's less than 80 years, so 75, 70, those sort of terms, the lender will not lend on them, because after the 25-year mortgage term or 30-year term, the lease is going to be very low. And when the lease runs out, the property goes back to the freeholder. So, they want to avoid that happening. And obviously, to extend the lease can be quite costly as well. So that's the other thing you need to watch out for. Hope that helps. Andy Crawford. Hi, Alex. Looking to buy a house. I'll try and speed up now because I can see the questions flying in. Hi, Alex. Looking to buy a house for the first time with my fiance starting of 2022. Do you think it would be better off to save for a 15% deposit, or is 10% good enough if they are available? Go for 15. The more you can go, the better. The more you can strip back everything in your life and just save, deposit, the better you're going to be. 15% opens at the moment many more doors, gives you access to better interest rates. The lender is going to see you as not as risky as with a 10% deposit. So just keep saving as much as you can. 10% is good enough. I mean, that is a good deposit. So if you can't get to 15, 10 should be good. Especially 2022 should be more than good enough. So keep going, keep saving, Andy. Thanks for the question. Courtney Hudson, do you see house prices rising or falling after the stamp duty tax ends? Well, that is the $1 million question. I would say I don't see them increasing. There is a chance that house prices could dip quite a lot with everything that's going on. What we do have on our side, what I feel is the government is throwing the kitchen sink at trying everything they can do to keep the property market going, and they have been really focused on that. So I would say that, again, very, very hard question to answer, and especially this market. I've never been in a market which is so difficult to predict, but I feel house prices maybe will come down, because inflation's got to go up, that sort of thing. Something's got to give at some point. What happens when furlough stops, when all these things stop? That's where I think we could be heading. Hopefully not a house crash, but I do think they could come down. Cindy, hi Alex, do I need a deposit on a right to acquire? Okay, right to acquire, that is where you buy via the housing association. It all depends on the housing association and their rules. They can be similar to right to buy, so you can sometimes use the deposit as the equity that is in the property, or the discount is the word I was trying to say. You can use the discount as the equity. It all depends on how long you've been there, what the discount is, that sort of thing. So I would say try and save a deposit if you can, but there could be lenders that could help you without. Just check what the details are from the Housing Association. Jagdish K. Hi Jagdish. Hi, I am earning around 35k and my girlfriend around 18k with 50k savings. Is it possible to purchase a property of 350k? What would you suggest to get into the property ladder? Right, assuming you haven't got any debts, times 4.5. Okay, times in your salary by 4.5 gives you about 238,500. Add your 50k on, we're just short of 300 here. So I would say that's based on 4.5 times lending. There are some lenders that might go to 5 times. You know, at the moment, I wouldn't advise going with a 5 times lender because, you know, it's a bit risky. They'll, you know, it's a bit risky in the climate at the moment. Yeah, so I would say it's a possibility, but you'll be maxing right out there, Jagdish, and I never advise to max out if you can. But look, if it's your only option, then, you know, there's a possibility of purchasing a property at 350. Yes, you know, there are lenders. Some will do up to 5.5 times lending. Personally, if that's really what you want to go for, I would wait until the economy is a bit more stable. Adriana Cardosa. Hi Alex, how can I claim my Help to Buy ISA bonus? Please, I've already applied for a mortgage. Adriana, your solicitor will get your bonus at the end. They will sort that for you. All right, so towards the end of the transaction, your solicitor will ask for some details and they will claim your bonus. So you've got nothing to worry about there. Okay, so me and Saint Cardinal. Me and my girlfriend were looking to save for a flat but needs 15%. We've recently found a new build, Help to Buy, that has every appliance and been offered a 5k John Lewis voucher and legal work paid for as well. Works out the same price as a flat. Is it a good idea to go for it even if it's for 5 years only? Okay, so you need 15%, so it's new build property. Yeah, look, if you're getting incentives, not every mortgage lender will take vouchers, but you know, some will, towards the legal work as well. So if it's a sort of cash deposit or some type of incentive, it's normally only a maximum of 5%. It all depends on the lender's criteria really, but if it works out the same price as a flat, yeah, incentives are fine. And when you say 5 years, I imagine you mean living there for 5 years. Obviously, new builds are going to have a great lease. They're going to have a certificate of some type. So, yeah, I'd go for that. Michelle, are you still able to get 95% mortgage? Only if it's Help to Buy or shared ownership at the moment. There's no 95% mortgages out at the moment. Hopefully, at some point next year, that will happen, Michelle. Hard to predict at the moment. Keep saving. It will happen. Loan Dusa, hello. Bradley, hi, I'm looking to purchase my first property with my partner. We are being quite stubborn and want a 2-bedroom house. From your professional advice, should we just focus on getting on the ladder first? Yes, you've just answered your own question, Bradley. It's okay to be stubborn. You know, if you've got a plan, it's good. You know, aim for a 2-bedroom house, but don't let that be to the detriment of getting on the property ladder, you know, on to maybe via an apartment or a flat, something like that. So whatever opportunity you have to get onto the ladder, take it. The 2-bedroom house could be the next step. Thank you for your question. And Loan Duta, so do you think 5% deposit mortgage would be available again? I'm not talking about Help to Buy. 95% mortgage straight down the line is what you mean. Yes, I expect that to come out next year. When, I don't know. Bradley, and go for something cheaper for a couple of years instead of looking for what we want to go for. Yes, absolutely, Bradley. Go for something cheaper if it can get onto the ladder straight away. Alex, I've got 12k saved but default 4 years ago and want to get on the ladder. What do you recommend? 15% deposit and you'll be good to go. 4 years ago, yeah, 15% deposit, 25k salary. You will be good with a 15% deposit. Charlotte, at the moment in the UK, you need approximately 15 to 20% deposit unless you're using Help to Buy. And then you can do it with a 5% because Help to Buy effectively contributes an additional 20%, so the lender lends 75. General rule of thumb for a mortgage is 4.5 times salary. As a solo buyer, what impact does two buyers have on this? Presumably not 4.5 times your combined salary. Thanks for the question, Charlotte. Yes, it is 4.5, either you're solo or joint. So you can add the two salaries together. That is an advantage of obviously doing it with a partner. Thank you for your question. Nice Q&A live. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Thank you very much. Jayhon, John, you're going to have to let me know which one it is. Thank you very much. Really appreciate the kind words. George Dupree. Hi, Alex. I've been recently looking at some new build developments due to complete in around March, April 21. Can you explain to me how the process differs with new builds? Okay, so when you're looking at, you got more here. How does the reserving, making an offer process work, and when do you make the full mortgage application, given the full transfer of funds won't go until the development is complete? Okay, so when you are looking at properties, new build properties, it depends where the build is. So initially you have stage 1 build, which is the first round of properties, and they will start getting made. You may get discounts on the first stage because, it's really early on. Those buyers are going to have to sit through, all the other properties in the other stages being built, that sort of thing. So all depends where the stage is. If you're buying a property which is ready to move in, you're not going to get as many incentives, that sort of thing. So if you're prepared to buy a property which isn't even built and you're basing it off either a plan, or maybe you've looked at a different property on the site which is half built or something like that, that's how you've got to make the judgment, really. They do go quite quickly. They will get reserved very quickly, new builds, so you don't want to leave it too late. So that's how the process differs, really. You've just got to make a judgment. You're potentially not going to see the finished product physically. You'll see it on a digital image. So in regards to, you can put the mortgage application in whenever you like, because the lender will base it on the drawings, and your mortgage offer will last for 6 months. So I would say depends on the development, the incentives, that sort of thing. But if you want the property, be prepared to buy one when the build is quite early on. Okay, Alex Abercrombie, great name. Thanks for the live video. Thanks for the question, Alex. Are we allowed to view properties without mortgage in principle? We are an 8% deposit and we'd like to start viewing, as it's taking 6 months to the process. Okay, yes, you can view properties without a mortgage in principle. Some estate agents may ask or make it a condition that you've got to have a mortgage in principle to view their properties. But the answer is no, you don't have to. And what I would suggest is, if you're a first-time buyer, as a mortgage broker, I will give my clients my details so they can pass them to the agent, and I will qualify them that way without actually doing a mortgage agreement in principle, because until you've bought a property, you don't know if that lender is going to lend on that property. So I would say yes, you can, but just you might have some friction from estate agents, and you should be able to provide some type of evidence you're good for the money in some way. Keep saving, 8%, you're doing a great job. Demetrius, hi Alex, hi, I'll come down to your questions in a minute. Demetrius, Jagdish, thanks Alex, no problem, just a bit concerned with your left eye, a bit red. Thank you very much, really appreciate that. That was yesterday. I thought I had a hair in my eye and was continuously trying to get it out, and it came out a few hours later, and realised it probably wasn't a hair. I'd been scratching my eye up. Thank you very much for the concern. Very kind of you. So, thanks for asking. Thanks for... here we go. Sushas Patel. Hi Alex, how soon can I get a mortgage after I finish my IVA? You need to be discharged for 12 months with probably at least a 30% deposit. That's where we are at the moment. All right, thank you for the question. Adriana, Thanks for asking my question. I wish we had met you a few months ago. Have a nice evening. Thanks, Adriana. Absolute pleasure. Thank you for your support. Demetrius, I'm looking to buy, refurb, refinance, remortgage. Could you explain the difference between refinance and remortgage? Well, look, this is a first-time buyer channel, and that is, my passion. I don't really do many of these type of mortgages, to be fair, because I'm not that interested in them. But a refurb, refinance, remortgage, a refurb is you're doing the property up. A remortgage, you're pulling money out of it. But, investment, I would say there are some other great channels out there that could certainly help you more than me. Thanks for the question. Jake, hi Alex, I'm looking at buying a shared ownership property in the next year or so. I had a CCJ which is now settled. It will be 6 years in May. Can I get a mortgage then? Okay, so if it's almost 6 years in May and there's no other CCJs or adverse credit on there, yeah, definitely wait until the 6 years has gone, because your credit history is a reflection of 6 years. So after 6 years, it's off. Might take a couple of months for it to update, and then you're good again. So yes, you can get a mortgage at that point, based solely on, not having any CCJs or having clean credit. Obviously, there are other things to take into account, income and that type of thing. But yes, you will be in better stead after 6 years. Bradley, appreciate the advice. Thanks, Bradley. AC1414, thanks, Alex. First time catching your stream. You're a natural at this. Thank you very much for that. Really appreciate your kind words. Thank you very much. Omar Reza. Hi Alex, I'm looking to buy a new build off plan. Although I have an agreement in principle, is it possible to make the actual mortgage application after I've signed the contract and paid the deposit? I'm looking to buy a new build off plan. It's possible to make the actual mortgage application after I have signed the contract. After you've signed the contract. Okay, so a contract will only come, towards the end. You'll get a draft contract. Your solicitor will get that at some point, when your searches are back and that sort of thing, where, at the tail end of the transaction. So you need to make the mortgage application once you have an offer agreed on the property and you've been issued with a memorandum of sale, which will be provided to you once you instruct your solicitors, and you can prove that to the agent or the developer. So no, it's not possible to make the mortgage application after you've signed the contract and paid the deposit. I hope that helps. Okay, hi Alex, can I remortgage, refinance the property after 5 months if the fixed rate mortgage finishes in 3 years? Yes, you can. After 6 months, most of the time. You need to wait 6 months to remortgage it again most of the time. But you will have a penalty to pay, likely have a penalty to pay if you're remortgaging within 3 years on a fixed rate, unless you've got a fixed rate with no penalties, of course. Do you have any advice on negotiating? Courtney Hudson, thank you. Oh, that was Demetrius, by the way, that last question. Courtney Hudson, do you have any advice on negotiating? I'm in a position to buy now, but should I wait until stamp duty tax ends? Might be a better house for less money. Absolutely, that is a tricky one. I always say to anyone, if you've got an opportunity to get onto the property ladder, take it, whatever the situation, because you never know what's around the corner and it could take it all away. So, historically, the property market, a property always delivers over time, no matter how much you bought it for, no matter what happens in the sort of near future, long-term property always delivers. So I would say, firstly, advice on negotiating. Yeah, look, you need to see how long the property's been on the market for. Has there been any offers? If it's been on the market a long time, why? All these things will help you negotiate. An estate agent should guide you through that. What level of interest is there on the property? These are all things that you would need to take into account, and that's what an estate agent's there for, to help you negotiate. But going low is never a bad thing. really. So never offer the asking price immediately unless the agent clarifies there's a huge amount of interest, you really want the property. It all depends on the scenario, but I would say I never wait. I would never wait. I would, if you've got an opportunity to buy a property, take it. That would be my advice. But yes, you are right in saying you might get a better house for less money because property prices might go down. So what I would say is, if you're happy to risk losing out, you know, what happens in a year's time if mortgages get, you know, you need a 40% deposit and then you have no options. Are you prepared to risk that happening? That would be, I would think about that. John. Yes, it is John, not Jay-Hon. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, John. Courtney Hudson, question mark. Yes. I think I've just answered your question there, Courtney. Andy, hi Alex, I'm on a 7.5 hour contract at my job. Are there any lenders that are willing to accept overtime income at the moment or maybe next year? Also accept disability benefits. Okay, 7.5 hour contract. I assume that is per week. So it's not quite 0 hours, but it's along those lines. If you have a history of this 7.5 hour contract and you've been doing that for a period of time, say at least a year, 1 to 2 years, then lenders will look at that. Disability benefits, yes, some lenders will look at that as well. So yeah, as long as you've got some history, that is what lenders are looking for. The longer employment, working history, whatever it is, a contract, business, employment, the longer it is, the less risk you are to the lender. Ryan Waterhouse, me and my girlfriend are looking to use the first home fund in Scotland. Does the contribution from the government lower the percentage of deposit you're looking for, or would it still need to be the 10% or full sum? Okay, so the home fund in Scotland has recently finished. So I don't know if you're referring to a new one. There was only a few lenders, a couple of high street lenders, Vida Home Loans, that were doing the first home fund in Scotland. It's normally a 25k sort of grant. But let's assume, you know, that I'm sure they've probably got something different. It is different to Help to Buy Scotland. I just want to make that clear. But okay, so does the contribution from the government lower the percentage of deposit you are looking for? Yes, it does. Okay, so assuming there is a new home fund in Scotland or something that takes its place, that provides you a grant, there's two things that will happen. One, you've got to make sure the lender, because not a huge amount of lenders are signed up to that, but there is enough to help you. So do that. And yes, it would go towards your deposit. So if you've got a 10% and a 25k, that will increase your deposit. Natalie B, hi Alex, I'm looking to buy 40 miles from work. Will the lender take travel costs into account when working out affordability? Yes, Natalie B, they will. And my advice would be to go on to a lender's website and use their affordability calculator. Just type in your income, your outgoings, your travel costs, that sort of thing, and then it will give you a really good idea on what you can borrow. That is assuming that, you know, you've got good credit, then just go on one of the high street lenders, and that will work it out for you. Thank you for your question, Natalie. Owen, hi Alex, do you recommend Help to Buy equity loans to first time buyers? Seems like no brainer. Are there any negatives? There are ups and downs with Help to Buy. Okay, the positives, they reduce the mortgage rate that you're going to go and get from a lender. You don't have to pay anything for the first 5 years, which I guess is a pro and a con. Are there any negatives? Yes. So an example is if you're borrowing a 20% equity loan and then you sell your property in 6 years, and your property has increased in value by £100,000, you would need to pay Help to Buy 20% of the increase in value as well as repaying the loan amount borrowed. So that is a negative. Okay, they will take any increase in equity. All right, so In regards to it being a no-brainer, yes, they do help a lot of people onto the market who may not have been able to get onto the ladder without it. But there are definitely pros and cons. As of 2021, when the new sort of Help to Buy kicks in, after sort of March 2021, they're accepting applications from the 16th of December on the new Help to Buy, which is first time buyers only, and there are some regional price caps. If you go on the Help to Buy website, you'll see all the regional price caps and the maximum property you can buy, so check that out as well. Okay, Sadikul Islam, hi Alex, how are you? I'm great. I watched all of your videos, thank you so much. My pronunciation of names is possibly not as good as the videos, but hope you forgive me for that one. But thank you very much. I certainly have plenty more coming your way. Omar, thanks Alex. Could you please speak a bit more on what happens from the point you reserve a new build to exchange and completion? You will reserve a property, normally put £500 down, something like that. You'll get a reservation form. Okay, and that reservation form you will need to supply to your solicitors, to the mortgage lender. You will need to put in the mortgage application in once you've really reserved the property and got your memorandum of sale. Okay, the mortgage lender will assess the mortgage completely as a normal mortgage. There's not much difference, and the surveyor will obviously assess either drawings or they go to the site. They may not have a physical property to look at, but they can still carry out the valuation. Okay, so you're still looking for a mortgage offer. The timing factor, if the property is going to be built in 9 months and the mortgage offer only lasts for 6 months, you'll need the mortgage offer extended, and they may look at your situation again and may need to re-credit score and everything like that. So I would take the timing into account of a 6-month mortgage offer. But there is very little difference, apart from the fact that you've got a few more forms that you'll have: a reservation form, a consent form, not a consent form, a incentive form, things like that the lender will see to see if there's any incentives that the builder's providing you. I hope that satisfies your requirement there, Omar, but very, very similar. It's just really the build date that needs to be factored into account. David Lord, hi Alex, we're currently saving for a deposit. If I buy a house that needs work, is there options for loans to renovate when getting my mortgage? We're currently saving if I buy a house that needs work. Yes, depends on what sort of deposit you put down for your mortgage, but there are lenders that will also provide further advances, so it's like a top up of your mortgage. The rate might be a little bit higher, but you can certainly use that for home improvements, that sort of thing. So in that regards, I would make sure when you're doing a mortgage, speak to the lender and say, do you offer further advances? And that should help you out. Thanks for the question, David. Lewis 08, hi Alex, my husband and I are considering Help to Buy, however I'm not currently employed, so will be a sole mortgage application for my husband. However, I only noticed I have to be named on Help to Buy. Yes, so in regards to that, if you are not employed, that's okay, you can still go on the mortgage. If you don't go on the mortgage, the lender may ask you to sign a occupancy form. It depends on who the lender is, but yes, if you're on the Help to Buy, then you will have to be on the mortgage as well, because they will have to match, but that's no problem to the lender. If you're not working, that's absolutely fine. Oliver Lester, hi Alex, last question. Any advice on where to start to find a mortgage broker? What should we be looking out for? Thank you, Alex. Okay, so any advice on where to start to find a mortgage broker? What should we be looking out for? Okay, so you've got two options really. One, you can go to any bank or high street and use their services, or you can obviously use a broker. There is different type of services. Some will charge, some won't. In my opinion, my experience, There are some brokers that maybe don't charge that take on volume of applications and don't focus as much on quality, but you're going to get it through without paying a fee. And I'm not sort of painting the picture of every broker's like that. I'm sure there's some amazing non-fee charging brokers out there, but generally that's how it works. You know, we are specialists here. We're first time buyer specialists, so we charge for that service rather than being, you know, good at everything or not so good at everything. We want to be experts in one subject, so you do tend to find there can be a premium for that. And what are you getting for the service is, you know, what you need to be asking yourself. Again, I'll give you an example. For us, before we even provide a mortgage quote, we will check everyone's documents thoroughly, you know, passports, bank statements, pay slips, make sure it's all looking good through the eyes and ears of the mortgage lender, and that's a thorough check. Not everyone may do that, you know, so I would say if you're looking for quality, you know, you're looking at the right person right now. But if you're looking for a fee, non-fee, no fee to pay, then I'd suggest looking at brokers that don't charge a fee. I hope that helps, Oliver, and you know, I would love to help you as well with your journey. But of course, you've got some options to consider there, and whatever reflects your requirements is definitely the way that you should be going. Thanks for the question, Oliver. Loan Duta, Oliver, here you have Alex as a mortgage broker. There you go. Thank you very much. But no, on a serious note, you know, we are here, but our main focus is just to provide good quality advice to, you know, the first time buyer community. Anyone who wants to use us, you know, more than welcome, and we'll certainly look after you. Jump Keyball, hello, and thank you for doing this Q&A. Who provides help to buy mortgages? Can I go to my bank for it, or are we stuck with the government lenders? Who provides help to buy? Can I go to my bank? Yeah, so this is what I would do. I would go on all the high street lenders, so, you know, NatWest, Halifax, Barclays, Santander, you know, they will, and look for their product guide, and they will have help to buy products there. They will have it on their website as well, but you've got plenty of high street options that will give you help to buy mortgages. Currently saving deposit. Okay, where are we? Okay, thanks, Alex. Owen, no problem at all. Carolina. Hi, Alex. I'm on furlough now, hoping to come back to work when the government allows again. How will this affect my mortgage application? Can I make an offer and will I find a property? Okay, so if you're on furlough on 80%, for example, there are some lenders that will take 80% of your wage. However, the key thing here is a letter from your employer confirming that you're going to be going back to work. Okay, so if you can get that, that's going to put you in much better stead. There possibly is one or two lenders that might look at your current situation at the moment. So I would try and get some clarity around when you are going back to work, and if you can get a letter, that is going to put you in good stead there. Thank you for the question, Carolina. Fola, hello Fola. Hi Alex, thank you so much for your channel. No problem at all. I'm looking to use help to buy. My main outgoing is child maintenance. How much does this affect my chances to secure a mortgage as a single person? Okay, Fola, so child maintenance, it would just be treated, you know, as a loan, as an outgoing, and when doing the affordability calculation on the lender, you know, you'll have to put the child maintenance costs. That will affect the loan amount, but, you know, it's dependent on the rest of your situation. It's you know, it's not going to stop you getting a mortgage. It's just going to affect the amount you can borrow. You would need to have your affordability checked, but it's not like an automatic decline or anything like that. It's just an outgoing that the lender will take into account. Thank you, Fola. Tom Newton, I work 45 to 50 hours a week for the last 3 years, but I'm on a 0-hour contract. Okay, Tom, if you can get 1 to 2 years evidence of earning a consistent wage, even though you're on a 0 hours contract, there's going to be options. Obviously, you're going to need some sort of deposit, but there is criteria, lenders criteria, that will allow 0 hours contracts if you've got consistency doing that same type of job. Okay, hope that helps, and I can hear some fireworks. Gareth Nichols, hi Alex, have you any advice regarding probate sales? Whoa, timescales, gonna take a long time. just be wary of that. Definitely gonna take a long time. I can see the lights changed colour behind me. Let's put that white. They do take some time. There is a lot to go through on that one. So yeah, I would be saying 6-12 months, maybe more. So yeah, hope that helps. Courtney Hudson, what is the typical cost of a solicitor and typical cost of getting a survey on a house? Typical cost of a solicitor, £1,500, around that sort of figure. Sometimes it would be more, sometimes it would be less, dependent on the location where you're buying, dependent on the solicitor. If you're buying shared ownership, that's going to be an extra £500 because there's another party involved. Yeah, but I'd say around the sort of 1,500 mark. That will cover your searches, the solicitor's fees and costs. That doesn't obviously include stamp duty. So I hope that helps. Okay, I've lost sight of where I was. Here we go. Thanks, Alex. Really appreciate the explanation. Omar, no problem at all. Stefan Bryson, hi, Alex. Do you know if there are any options currently available for 95% mortgages in Scotland? Unfortunately, not at the moment. Obviously, Help to Buy, shared ownership, yes, but not 95% mortgages. Hoping that they will come out next year at some point. So keep your eyes out. Obviously, you've got Help to Buy Scotland and shared ownership. You only need a 5% deposit for them. Think about that. If it's not your cup of tea, then hopefully next year. Sammy G, can you talk about budget to consider for a first-time buyer, new build, Help to Buy? Can you talk about budget to consider for a first-time buyer, new build? Okay, Help to Buy. We're going to need 5% deposit, and then you can get either a 20% equity loan from Help to Buy outside of London or a 40% equity loan within London. Budget, in regards to budget, I'm maybe you can expand on that a little bit, please, Sammy G. Not 100% sure what you mean, but 5% is the minimum deposit. Oliver Lester, thank you for answering, Alex. You seem like the best broker. When we have more deposit, we will be in touch. You're a legend, Oliver and Alex Abercrombie. Thank you very much, Oliver and Alex. Really appreciate the questions. I'd love to help you. Mitchell Joyce, I look forward to our one-to-one meeting on the 30th of this month. Good work and keep it up. I look forward to meeting you, Mitchell. That will be fantastic. Really looking forward to that. And I will speak to you very soon. Thank you very much. Suhas Patel, hi Alex, I'm living at my dad's house on a buy-to-let mortgage, but me and my wife are paying the buy-to-let mortgage. If we get the balance to zero, can we remove my dad's name and add to my wife? Living at my dad's house. Hi Alex, I'm living at my dad's house on a buy-to-let mortgage, but me and my wife are paying the buy-to-let mortgage. Okay, so what I'd be doing in regards to this situation, I'm hoping it's like a family buy-to-let mortgage, like a consumer buy-to-let where you're allowed to live there. If we're paying the buy-to-let mortgage, if we get the balance to zero, can we remove my dad's name? Okay, so I would, in regards to that, I would just speak to a mortgage lender about maybe a transfer of equity, something like that. See what the options are. It all depends on the lender and their criteria. So definitely have a chat with a lender. Gareth Nichols, after having a mortgage offer issued, could we then go out and buy furniture on finance? No, definitely not. Definitely not, Gareth, because mortgage lenders do, regular checks, and they could do a re-credit score before completion. And even whether they do or don't do that, the terms that you had the mortgage offer provided are obviously based on your current credit commitments. Obviously, if with the furniture on finance, the affordability is still well within the limits, then you're technically not breaking any lender's criteria. However, I just would wait until you're in personally. I know, sofas take, a while to come and things like that, but just, it can complicate things. So I just wait until it's all over and then go again. Thanks, Gareth. CM, I had poor credit history just 2 years ago and took a payday loan. 2 years ago. Now my credit history is excellent. Is there any point of looking for a mortgage now? I only have 5,000 deposit. There's options. Lenders don't like payday loans, so I would wait at least until it's a year in the past before you start considering a mortgage there. 5,000 deposit. Look, keep saving. Shared ownership may be an option. That's always a good option with a low deposit. So I would keep saving and get that payday loan as far away from your history as possible. Keep going, and then you'll be in better stead. Okay. JL. Hi Alex, is it true that bank statements are analysed by the lender for regular spending habits, and is it worth having a burner account that is kept super clean from Amazon, eBay? A burner account? I've not heard that one before. I would say no, because the mortgage lenders are asking for a trust, and buying things from Amazon and eBay is no problem. It's it's on most people's bank statements. As long as you're not spending £1,500 a month on Amazon, then you're not going to have a problem really. As long as they're looking for irregular regular spending habits that are going to affect affordability. So I wouldn't worry about that. Okay. Just to clarify, would you be interested to provide the mortgage if we had like a refinance after 7 months? We are a couple of first-time buyers, or is it not the client you are looking for? Oh, look, I'd always love to help a first-time buyer. Absolutely. We can look at this in more detail. But what I meant is I want to keep this sort of Q&A free for first-time buyer sort of related questions. But yeah, I'd love to help if you're a first-time buyer. Absolutely. Sammy G, RE budget. What other costs should I consider? Legal fees, moving. Okay, so yeah, we do tend to give a cost of moving document to our clients, and so you've obviously got mortgage, solicitors, assuming you're a first-time buyer, removals potentially, unless you get man with a van, or you're just going to keep doing lots of back and forth yourself and getting the family to help out. But yeah, really all it is mortgage, solicitor, and removals. They're the sort of areas you need to consider. Obviously stamp duty, but that comes under the sort of solicitor's quote. That will always provide you with a stamp duty cost as well. Hope that helps, Sammy G. Okay, Jump Keyball. Hi Alex, if you have more than one bank account, but your main account is where your salary goes into and will be using for the mortgage application, will they ask to see other bank accounts? They could ask to look at any bank accounts at any time. So that is a possibility, especially if you've got bank statements and a transfer into another one. That's a trail going into another account, normally shows the account number. So yeah, mortgage lenders may look at any of your bank statements. They may want all of them. They just want to see your conduct, what's going on. They're trying to get a flavour of how you conduct yourself really, which will therefore be reflected of potentially how you carry out paying back the mortgage. Okay. Vishal. Hi, Alex. Me and my wife are planning to buy our first home around 200 miles away from our current location and looking for new jobs there. Does the lender want any proof of our future jobs? Thanks. Yeah, a bit of a catch-22. They'll want the job before they give you the mortgage, most lenders. So I would get your contract first. Once you've got your contract, you'll be fine. Thanks for the question. Mark Murphy. Hi, Alex. Will Help to Buy continue after March? Yes. So Help to Buy is continuing after March 21. They're taking new applications for new Help to Buy from 16th of December. The previous Help to Buy will shut the doors on the 15th of December. It will be for first-time buyers only, and there will be regional price caps. So just go onto the Help to Buy equity loan, just Google that, go onto the website, and you'll see Help to Buy equity loan 2021. You'll see all the regional price caps, Southeast, Midlands, that sort of thing, and it will say the maximum purchase price you can buy a property with a Help to Buy scheme, and that should sort you out there. Lewis, thank you very much. Very helpful. No problem at all, Lewis. Thank you as well. Sushas, Alex, yes, you're right. Right. Buy-to-let mortgage is in the family now. It is in a family buy-to-let. My dad's trying to help me get onto the property ladder. And will that help me get my first house related to the previous question? Okay. Dad's house on a buy-to-let mortgage. Me and my wife are paying the mortgage, buy-to-let mortgage. If we get the balance to 0, can we remove my dad's name? I see what you're trying to do here now. Okay, yes. Okay, that's you could that could go as a sort of family gift or a concessionary purchase. There's lots of different options with this one. I would need more information. Are you going to be gifted the property from the family, or can you buy it at a discounted price? Assuming both are options, then yes, you can. There are definitely ways to go about this. Without doubt, we do plenty of this type of mortgage. One way is a concessionary purchase or a family discount purchase. There's a few ways you can go about this one. Yes, 100% you're okay on that. Vishal, thumbs up. Excellent. Well, that is the last question, and we have been just over an hour. Cornell, hi Alex, you're such a good man, helping people, so many answers. I'm a bit late in your live. Look, we're okay for another 5 minutes. I can do a few more questions, and then we'll clock off. Okay, I would like to know if there are any more 90% loan to value lenders on the market now, and what's the average interest. Okay, so there's a few. I can give you the lenders. I can't advertise rates because it comes with certain warnings, and I've also got to provide the lender's standard variable rate if I'm providing the interest rate. Annual percentage rate, and I'm not sure what they are. So I would look at these lenders. Go on to Virgin's website, Nationwide, Accord Mortgages. I would look at those three, and that will give you an idea on what the average rate is, because they're all doing 90% mortgages, or Accord as of tomorrow. Go on to Nationwide. That they're sort of average rates at the moment. So check them out. All right. I hope that helps, Cornell. Connor, what would you say is the minimum deposit needed for your first time house? Well, at the moment, 10%, ideally 15%. That's if you're buying a property outright, or 5% with shared ownership or Help to Buy. Joseph, thank you for your question, Connor. Joseph, I'm looking to purchase my first house with my fiance, and we're currently going through to get an AIP. Is it true we will be lent less if we are looking to buy outside of London? No. Only if you're borrowing from Help to Buy, but if you're just buying a normal property, no, that's not the case. The lender will lend the same amount, irrelevant of where you're buying. Sorry, I'm late. No, that's all right, Joseph. Love your content. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate the support, and hope that helps with your question there. Mark Murphy, if I had a house but had to sell it in a divorce, will that stop me getting Help to Buy 2017. Had to sell it in a divorce. Well, that's okay. That was done in your divorce was in 2017. You had to sell your house. Okay, so you've got until 15th of December, Mark, to find a property and get your application in for Help to Buy, because after that, it's first-time buyers only. Hope that is answers your question. Abdullah, yo, what's up? What's up, Abdullah? How you doing? Finlay, hi Alex, quick one. Does having a mortgage guarantor increase the interest rate of a mortgage? Yes. Check out Barclays Springboard Mortgages. Have a look at Halifax. Can't think what they're called. There's different ways you can go about a sort of guarantor mortgage. You know, parents can either put money into a savings account towards the deposit, and then your monthly payments towards the mortgage pay them back, or they can give equity in their house, or they can just go on the mortgage. There's something known as a sole proprietor joint borrower mortgage. So check those out as well. But yeah, the high street lenders, Barclays, Halifax, I would say they're probably two of the better ones in regards to guarantor mortgages. That T4 guy, I'm late, will watch back and give you a like. Thank you very much. No problem at all. Suhas Patel, much appreciated. We'll definitely be in contact when I'm ready to buy. No problem at all. Thank you very much for your support. Really, it just means so much here on the channel. Lulu, hi Alex, hope all is well. I was wondering if you would think buying on shared ownership 75% is sensible if deposit is not high enough for the 100%. I'm nervous about staircasing costs, and you're right to be, Lulu. Check out the Housing Association and their rules, and their, really find out a bit more about them. That's what I'd like to do. Shared ownership, it's not everyone's flavour, and you will hear probably lots of bad things, but the government are reforming shared ownership. 75% is a decent percentage. So if you're happy with shared ownership property over a long period of time, and it's a long time goal to buy the full 100%, and you're happy to stay in that sort of in a shared ownership property, great. That sounds really good for you. Some people just like it temporary measure to then move on. So it depends what your goals are, but 75% is sensible. Yeah, look, it's a really good share. Shared ownership properties sell well. I would just say do your homework on the Housing Association, and really dig deep and find out what their staircasing costs are. I would certainly do that, and go to our website mortgagechain.co.uk to the shared ownership part. Download the shared ownership do's and don'ts form, and that will give you a tick list on what to do and what questions to ask the Housing Association. Thanks a lot. Is age of 42 too late for me? No, of course it's not. You can have a mortgage up to 69 now. So, that's almost 28 odd years, isn't it? So you are absolutely fine at 42 CM. Okay, Nazad. I can't read that one, sorry. Hello, I was just looking for a new house. I found one, but when I checked the value history of the property, it went down from 260 to 220. What might be the reason? Without seeing the property and everything like that, that is impossible to say. Ask the estate agents. That is what I would be doing. See what the history is. What else could you do? You could go onto the land registry and spend £3 and buy the land registry documents, which will give you an insight into the ownership of the property and what's happened. Has any part of the property been sold off? That sort of thing. So that would be my suggestion to you. Gareth Nichols, thanks for the advice. You should defo do more Q&As. Thanks, Gareth. I think I might be doing that. I wasn't sure if it'd just be me and my nan turning up for this, but thankfully it's been a few more. So good stuff. Lulu B, thanks so much. Yes, we'll be bringing on shared ownership videos tonight, binging on shared ownership videos tonight. Good stuff, Lulu. No problem. Thank you very much. Matus. Hi, Alex. Let's say I liked a house and made an offer and got accepted. What is the procedure next? If you got accepted, so leading up to putting your offer in, I assume you'd have an agreement in principle at that point. At the point you know you're going to put an offer in, you then submit your mortgage application. So prior to the offer being accepted, you want to know where you're going. And the second part of your question, I would like to get some real life experience in property, immerse myself in it. How do I get advice, experience, as I'm only 13? Well, you must be our youngest, can't even say the word, youngest viewer. Brilliant that you've got an interest in property at such a young age. No, I've just thought the same question was coming from the same person, but no, I can see it's two different people here. Hang on a minute. Let me go back a second. Hi, Alex. Let's say I liked a house and made an offer and got accepted. What is the procedure? Okay, so as I was saying, the next step would be to submit your mortgage application. So either decide if you're going direct with a bank or via a mortgage broker, and a mortgage broker will obviously help you through each step and make sure you're prepared. If you're going through a bank, make sure you've got an agreement in principle, and then once your offer's accepted, make sure that you are ready to instruct your solicitors straight away, because the estate agents won't give you the memorandum of sale, which is a document that states you've offer's been accepted and the property is going to be taken off the market. So that's what you want done as soon as possible, and then submit your mortgage application. Back to Matzus. No, Abdullah. Okay, you've been reading business books, YouTube videos, and lots of theories. That is brilliant. Work for free. Yep, great idea there. And thank you very much. Appreciate the content. Really appreciate the question, Abdullah. Yeah, I would keep going along those roads, really. I would keep, looking at books, looking at YouTube. YouTube is obviously fantastic for resources. What else would I do? I would maybe, if your parents or family members are interested in property as well, ask them to, take you around different areas and try and learn about different types of properties. What's a detached, a semi-detached, a terraced, a flying freehold, a standard brick and mortar property, a property made out of concrete. If you're really interested in property, get yourself right into it and try and lean on your family and get them to help you as much as they can, because obviously being 13 you're going to not be able to apply for a mortgage or view properties and things like that. So yeah, just keep going and getting as much help as you can. Thank you very much for the question. I've been reading business books, YouTube. Yes, no, absolutely. Official LELE, throw them away. I'm not sure what that refers to. Maybe the books, I don't know. Okay, other question. Is it worth to buy a house in these days? How pandemic is affecting the property value? Well, at the moment we're in a we're in a manufactured market, with furlough and that sort of thing, and the stamp duty holiday. So house prices have been going up, as you know. They're likely to come down. Yeah, if you like I say, if you can buy property, if you've got an opportunity, take it. That is always my advice, because long-term property always delivers. It always comes back. Historically, that's based on factual data of the property market. It will always deliver long-term for you. So no matter what price you buy it at, no matter what happens around the corner, long-term, it will always deliver. And that is going to be the end of tonight's Q&A. That is the last question there. Thank you, Alex, for answering. No problem at all. Looking forward to our video chat in January. The Rock Starlet. Can't wait for our video chat. It's going to be awesome. Really looking forward to finding out what you are looking to do and being part of that journey. And I just want to say thank you very much to everyone on the channel, all all the subscribers. You know, can't do this without you. Really appreciate your support, and you know, this is a chance for me to try and answer some questions, because obviously YouTube, we probably only get 80% of the notifications when people ask questions, so that is another reason a Q&A can try and fill those gaps, which I always want to do. Answer one more. Yep, go on then. I'm 38, my wife's 41. What's the maximum length of mortgage? 69. So 28 years. 28 years for you, Cornell, and that should do you fine. Thank you very much. Thanks, Abdullah. Thanks. No, as says Abdullah. He's not going to chuck the books away, I think is what he's saying. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. When are you doing your next live? Well, I will be working that out and coming back to everyone and letting you know. It's been quite good. So I will let you know, Abdullah. And on that note, thank you very much for everything tonight, and we will see you in the next live. See you later.